Hi, I'm Jerry Kroll, and it's my pleasure to do this presentation for the Unicorn Summit today. Your unicorn is inside you. I would have really loved to have been in Lisbon, Portugal, with everybody there at the summit, like we were last year during the heat wave. But there were dramas on jet flights and jet fuel and things like that that made it pretty much impossible to get over there and then to get back. So I really do appreciate Nuno and the staff there allowing me to give this presentation remotely from Vancouver, Canada. Um, my background is in horticulture of all things. That was the family business. And then from there, with this unicorn exercise, which I'm going to explain to you, I transitioned from the horticulture industry to the race car industry. And if that's not enough of a hook to get you interested, I don't know what is. But being from Vancouver, Canada, what I like to do is I like to find out who in the audience knows about Canadian culture. So we have our first example here. Who in the audience can tell me the name of this trophy? So I'll give you a clue. The sports teams that play for this play in the coldest climates imaginable. It's amazing. And by many sports commentators, this is the most difficult award in the world to win. It is the Stanley Cup. That's right. One of the oldest trophies in all of sports and often won by American teams, but as Canadians, we still consider it as a Canadian trophy. The next bit of Canadiana for you to guess at. Who knows what these shoes are called? We use them 12 months a year, indoors and outdoors in Canada all the time. It's just what we wear all the time in Canada. No, we don't. It's just for winter. And it's in super soft snow. That's right. It's a snowshoe. And it really is part of the Canadian culture, primarily in the wintertime. The next bit of Canadiana you might not know, but this is a delicious item. It's truly the national Canadian cuisine from Quebec. Um, does anybody know what it is? Poutine. That's right. It is French fries, cheese curds, and then smothered in the most delicious gravy you can imagine. So good is it that the rest of Canada has adopted this as our national dish. A friend of mine from Vancouver moved to London, England, and started off a kiosk making Canadian poutine in England at special events and concerts. It is by far the most popular food kiosk in any event that you go to in London, England. The next bit of trivia, who knows who this famous singer is? Again, Canadian, again from Quebec, oddly enough. That's right, Celine Dion. And after a few years of uh, some health issues that she'd had, she has bounced back. And my understanding is she's doing 10 concerts in Paris, France right now. And it's good to see her back. She is beloved in Canada and around the world. Again, one of our Canadian national treasures. Now things will get a little bit more difficult. Who knows who this top secret person is? I'll give you a clue. In the late 1800s, he invented a can opener, a manual can opener, which in those days was high tech. From there, he became incredibly wealthy, went to England, and took up the sport of flying, and was so good that he became a pilot in World War I. Captured twice by Germany, escaped twice as well. And then in World War II, he helped the United Kingdom set up MI5 and MI6. And one of his employees was Ian Fleming, who later became the author. This is William Stevenson from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. You might know him better as the original James Bond. That's right, from Canada. Nobody in England wants to know that the original James Bond was from Canada, but he really is. Codename Intrepid. You can look it up. And then finally, we have this other person who you may know as um, a disruptor, a introducer of technology, and probably currently the world's most wealthy person. And by the time we look at this in another week from when I'm recording this, um, he should be a trillionaire, somewhere between $1 and $6 trillion. The numbers are staggering. Nobody's ever had this much wealth before. But here's a person who came from South Africa, lived in Canada, where his mom is from, worked in Saskatchewan and Vancouver, Canada, and then went to the United States and truly followed his passion, found out what made him tick, and he's brought these things forward and continues to bring these things forward with a passion that is sometimes even offensive to some people, but nobody can doubt the fact that he's getting things done. Often not on time. I'm one of the people that has a deposit for 6 years on one of his cars that he still hasn't produced yet. But I love his quote saying that he has a gift for turning the impossible into the delayed. So with that, I feel absolutely okay with considering him as somebody to note. And this whole thing circles back to the book that I produced last year called Beyond Elon, because right now we're looking at what's happening, but how many people are looking at what happens beyond that? How can I contribute? And one of the main things that Elon will be contributing is the young people who are watching his work ethic, his passion, and doing that themselves. They're seeing how great things can be done. Um, so what I did is in this book, I describe my two passions of building electric vehicles to help the world get away from fossil fuels. That's a passion of mine. And the second part is how to help people with human longevity, because I see no reason why biologically people cannot live beyond 200 years of age. But within this book, there is a nugget that helps anybody start from there. And we can call this the unicorn exercise. And today it's my pleasure to give you a brief idea of how that happens. So what the process is to find a very quiet place in your house, a very comfortable chair, have a seat, close your eyes, and imagine that you have just won $100 million. Imagine how that feels. The power that gives you, the resources that gives you, the freedom that gives you. We take a little bit of a side journey here. Everybody likes to travel. So for 2 years, you've traveled the world and you've spent $5 million seeing everything. The pyramids, you sailed the Nile, you've seen all of Europe, all of China, Africa, North America. And after 2 years, you're exhausted. You come home and it's Monday morning. You have $95 million in the bank and all the time in the world. What do you do on that day? Whatever pops into your head, that's what you should do as your life mission. And it's different for each and every person. It might be painting, it might be the movies, it might be the theater, it might be medicine, it could be absolutely anything. For myself, when I was in the flower business, the family business, and I did this exercise myself, something popped up inside of me that was really surprising. My dad used to take me to car races a short distance away from the family farm. Not more than 4 or 5 times over my whole childhood, but that really stuck with me. And I thought, that's something that I would do if I had $95 million in the bank and all the time in the world today. So I got into that. And people in the motorsports industry thought it was crazy because I would work 24 hours a day. I would go anywhere, do absolutely anything. I didn't want to drive the cars myself because that's too dangerous. But what I found for myself was the ability to use my business skills at raising sponsorships for the teams. And if you tell any team in motorsports that you can bring them money, they will hire you and bring you on. I was incredibly successful with that and have a number of clients who've won the Indy 500, Indy championships, Formula One, all kinds of things. So that was really good. And then I tied in my passion for the environment by building an electric car company, which is a one-person electric car. And I'm proud to say that by July of this year, we'll have homologation for Europe. The factory's in Barcelona, Spain, and we'll be delivering them. I don't have one that I could ship to Barcelona this or to Portugal this year, but for next year's Unicorn Summit, I will make sure that Nuno and the staff have one or two of these cars that they can drive around and everybody who comes in can drive it around. I'm very proud of the Solo. And the reason for it is that over 75% of all cars are just one person. So why not make an iPhone for the road? That's really what it is. And then in the longevity side of things, the part that we use as a gateway to that is this device right here called the DEXA scanner, which gives you your body composition, your muscle content, your fat content, your bone content, and it allows you to see what's inside of you, where you stand today health-wise, based on a metric of where you should be for your age, etc. With that, there are literally billions of dollars being spent right now on technologies to not just achieve age cessation, but age reversal. Muse stem cells are a big part of that. Repair, regeneration, healing with science. Other things are gene therapies, mRNA therapies. One in particular we learned about last year is they're working on this in Canada for your body to produce the same blood you produced when you were 20 years old. So you're literally healing your body from the inside out. And this is going through clinical trials right now, and it should be out shortly. We met with the scientists again last week, and that is going to be one of the most revolutionary things in age cessation, much along the lines of GLP-1s with weight loss. So stay tuned for that. So I encourage you to do the unicorn exercise, find out what's inside you. The details are covered within the book that I produced. It'll give you a bit of an overview on how to do the unicorn exercise properly and see if it doesn't benefit you, your family, and perhaps even the whole world. Have fun at the Unicorn Summit, everybody. Sorry we couldn't be there, but we look forward to seeing you again next year in 2027. Thank you.